and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time on my channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can be updated when I upload. Now, this is a long time video. This is one of the videos I've been talking about I'm going to do. We're going to do it right now. So, social media. Social media, I have notes. So if I'm looking down, I'm looking at my notes. Social media, vanity. Social media, fantasy versus reality. Okay. I'm guilty of getting caught up in social media. Any human being on earth gets caught up on social media every now and again. Now, the difference is if you keep in that same pattern and then it reflects in your life because you're constantly saying, my life sucks. Other than not being aware of that, you have to be appreciative of where you are presently in your life, not so much where you want to be. Of course you want to be thinking about where you want to be, but not to the point where you're stressing and you feel like you're a failure at life and you suck, that you don't need to be worried about where you are now in the present. You have to appreciate fully where you are. And I struggle with this, but you can't blatantly just be like, oh, forget where I am, forget me, forget where I am right now in my life. It doesn't matter. I suck. What we say about negative affirmations and stuff like that. Whatever you say is an affirmation out of your mouth, whether it's negative, whether it's positive. You keep speaking in a negative light, negative is going to keep coming to you. You can change a negative thought and before you speak it, or just thinking about it, no, I'm not going to think that way. Think of it in a positive way. And still in thinking positively, you want to be appreciative of your present. No, you may not be where you want to be, but you're not where you used to be. And if you are where you used to be or where you were a certain time ago, go back. You're not where you used to be, but if you are in the same space that you used to be or where you were like a year, 2 years, 5 years, you have to go back and think about, what am I repeating? Or where did I make a wrong turn that ended me back up where I was like 2 to 5 years ago? You should always be elevating. I don't care what it is. It could be the smallest thing in your life. You should always be elevating. If you're not, you don't go, oh, I'm stupid, all of this. Figure out, this is the problem with society right now. We are no longer problem solvers. We automatically feel like we are entitled to, oh, let me find a quick fix. Let me see what's a quick fix. Instead of realizing that's a privilege and knowing how to problem solve is everything. We're going into another video, but back to social media. You can easily get caught up. You can easily feel some type of jealousy, envy, without even really knowing it, but it happens. So, number one, knowing the difference between fantasy and reality. Off one glance, you see where someone is and you're just like, dang. Or a few polls, a few different people pages that may be, you know, on their up and up, going, you know, to different levels, and you're automatically like, dang, well, I'm not doing that. What? You don't know their story. First and foremost, you struggle with the realization of how long someone has been trying to get to the position that they're in right now. Have been working towards their success story. Maybe they're there, maybe they're not, maybe they still have higher to climb. Who says that that's the end for them? And that's where a lot of people will see people's stories or see, you know, they have a family, that they're married, that they're making the money, like, dang, I wish I was making that money and all that other stuff. Don't worry about no one else's success story. Your energy that you should be putting into yourself, you're exuding on someone else who's, whether you're thinking about them or you're watching them or not, is doing what they have to do to get to the next level that they need to. So instead of having that mindset or constantly in a mood to see what someone else is doing, you can get inspired. You can be motivated by someone posts, but that doesn't mean that you just stay in that moment. And when you stay in that type of moment, you become stagnant. Along with stagnant, while you're watching, you can either be jealous, you could be envious, and honestly, while you're feeling all these energies that are useless to you, you're not taking the time to spend that on yourself and perfect your own craft, or decide what kind of craft you want to do. Maybe you don't even know what you want to do yet, but since you see someone else's story, you're like, well, I'm not there yet. Because that's not for you, baby. That's not your road. They're going down the road that was planned out for them, that they need to go down. And there's multiple roads. They chose one that was like, all right, this is going to work. And they kept at it. And they did more. You don't keep doing the same thing. You keep up that energy, but dang, it's more I can tap into. And that's where the lucrative side for you comes in, honestly. So that's one thing. Struggling with the realization of someone else's story, and then you're looking back at yourself like, why am I not there? Because that's not your road. That's not your journey. That's their journey. In those moments, like I said, you got to give yourself a reality check. Everyone has a moment where they felt some type of way off. So you cannot sit here and say you never was like, dang. You can say, oh, I can't wait till I get my story there. I'm working on that. I'm working on that. I'm working on my success story. Let that be a motivation. But when you got to do a reality check because you're just stuck in a jealous and envious cycle, it's like, I tighten up. This way ain't work, so let's scratch that out for right now. We may revisit it and try it in a different way, but right now let's move on to the next one. All right, plan 1, plan 1A, plan 1C, plan 1B, plan 1C. That don't work. All right, plan 2. You gotta try it out. This is like with any relationship, with anything that you want to work in your life, you have to put in that work ethic. You have to have the work ethic to do it. Put down your phone. Put down your phone. If you can't have the, I'm about to say the wrong word. If you can't have the discipline to differ between you being inspired and motivated versus you being jealous and just, oh, let me see what they doing now. Dang. And that feeling that come along with it, put your phone down. Put it down. Pick up a paper. Pick up a pen and paper. And start planning. Start creating. Start thinking about what you're passionate about, what you can plan, what you can create, how you can go about getting to this plan and making your content work, anything. That's better than, like I said, that's redirecting your energy from being negative to being positive. That's better than sitting there being jealous and envious instead of being inspired and motivated to, alright, tag, they did that. You can even take something from someone else's book and apply it to what you want to do. Or sit there and think about, dang, this is what I want to do. So let me see if they have any posts explaining how they started or how they began to go down that road. There's a thin, like I said, there's a thin line between inspired and being obsessed, honestly. If you get to that point of being obsessed, jealous and envious, no, it ain't for you. And a lot of people go weeks, months, years, and not even realizing that type of spirit that's come over them. And it's like, it pops up in different aspects in their life. They start being a little mean to other people. They have this kind of attitude about them. And then a lot of people aren't going to be real with you and be like, yo, what's going on with you? But if you're lucky enough to have people in your life, instead of waiting for you to do a reality check yourself, you have friends. If you have real friends, they're going to check you for you. Be like, hey, I've noticed something. I'm not talking about doing it in front of a crowd either. It's me and you. Let's talk. I noticed something different in you. And don't take this the wrong way. I know what I'm used to seeing from you. I know how you usually a person nobody wants to be around, a person you won't like, and that's how a lot of people spiral. So if you need to take a break from social media, take that break from social media. It's needed. It's definitely needed. I know a couple of acquaintances, a couple of influencers that I look up to. They'll take like a 3 month, 3 months off. Some people do 6 months. Some people right now are doing alright, I'll see y'all in the new year when I'm ready. And there's nothing wrong with that. And you know what? If they come back with their content and everything that they've been doing, or they leave people with things, like, even though I'm not going to be here, of course I'm going to leave y'all with some content and stuff until I get back. Their audience isn't going anywhere. So don't let that affect you. If things get a little hot and heavy, you need to step back. And with that being said, let's be more conscious of social media. And honestly, we really need to get back to the humanity aspect of life. A lot of people are not connecting in the way that they should be. And if we keep going down this road, honestly, it's not going to be good. Like, I have kids that I want to see grow up and flourish, and I want them to be a better version of myself. I don't want to see them get caught up in social media in a way that paint them in an ugly or bad picture, or people that inspire them, do the same thing, and then it's like their whole generation is destroyed because right now we need all the help we need as a society. Like, our time is kind of, we're the grown-ups now. Now we're seeing the young people. If you're around my age group, you're looking like, dang, y'all, what they doing? And it's not all of them. It's a good percentage, but not all of them. So let's please be mindful of what we're putting out there. Let's be mindful of the energy, of the images that we're putting out there. And y'all be great. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.